what are you doing? Well, it's like you got here right when the action started, huh? Got a situation of a damaged hose that need to be replaced. I don't know how long these been here. You gotta be very careful because I think the way these are jointed, I think their connection is PVC pipes, and so you don't want to cause a problem fixing a problem. Get in there, get real close. You can see what you're doing. Water's off. Yeah. And so I'm gonna replace this hose with a braided hose. Let's get this out the way now. Yeah. That's the hand we shake with. Got that out the way now. That's what I was waiting on. There we go. These are some old hoses. They've been on here for a while. Oh, wow. And I guess what happens, this is a good example, from what I can deduct here, is that the heat from the dryer ventilating close and the heat and the compression became weak and compromised. Maybe there's a lot of pressure, but we're gonna put a much better design on there, which are just basically braided hoses. And replace it with this. Just your standard stainless steel braid. Simple. Well, you know, you do it enough and everything else. But in all honesty, yeah, you gotta know what's gonna happen. Anticipate. I don't foresee any more damages in the water system from the wall to the unit, and so that is all secure. For some reason, this doesn't look right. So this is the line that busted. It completely just forced right out of its compression ring. That was a lot of pressure. Wow, there's a lot of pressure, so that's why you gotta be careful. You gotta observe everything. So now, I try to take this off. That's where that plays into this, because I could break and then cause a lot of water past this shut off. So they have specialty pliers for this, but we gotta use things that are common to everyone else. Yeah, gotta be careful. Focus here. And it's upside down, so the threads are backwards. It's usually lefty loosey, righty tighty. And all right. You might think this is just something simple when you're looking at it. Yeah. Manual dexterity. We do take that for granted. I try not to. There you go. All right, now let's apply them to the unit and then test them, and that should do it. But that's the cause of floods, homeowner liability claims. And so be very careful and check your hoses every opportunity you get. Because as we all know, current times and events, these situations are very dangerous. And so in order to make sure you're flushing the line and you're not putting any rust, if there's any rust in the screen, because I don't know what this water valve sound like yet. And so there's still a possibility that I might have to do a repair, because I'm walking in just replacing the braids. So right now I'm shifted over to liability in a sense, and then also repair. And so now replacing the damaged parts, you have to look at the cause and effect. This valve probably doesn't need to be replaced, but I'm trying to determine that right now, because something caused that. In addition to that hose to be weak, I would think that you want to flush your lines to make sure that you don't put any rust in your in any of these screens right here. So your water line has rust in it from your hot water tank, and also when there's construction in the area, rust will get in the line, and it will be introduced into your water valve screen. So you want to flush your line anytime you have any hoses installed to your washer, your washer, or even your any type of item that needs water, because these particles will be in your line. So you want to make sure you flush it before you install it, because you can actually recause yourself. And then you know that you didn't introduce any rust in the line. So when I turn this valve on, if it sounds funny, then I know that it might have to be replaced. And so I know that I didn't cause it to not be able to free flow. And this is a tremendous amount of force. So you don't have to crank the on all the way up. You can just turn it halfway, just about. And that way you can reduce some of the pressure right at the source. And you gotta be very careful, because you can strip these thin plastic threads. Normally you would want to put Waterline tape on here. It'll make much easier. It'll get you a good waterproof seal, but it's not required. Because I want to mate the rubber gasket right here, just on the edges here. And so Teflon tape is just an added measurement, I think, more or less for installation, and threads, just in case these threads may have gotten cross thread. You'll never really know, so I always back these things right back off and I look at it, because once you make that initial thread, then you kind of put a memory on there. It's easier to put it back on there. So I don't see any cross threads. So all right, because if I'm coming here on a water issue, then my mind is thinking of everything that can be caused to regenerate or reduplicate that same problem. So you don't want to come in causing a problem. Tug on it a little bit, wiggle around, tug and wiggle, tug and wiggle, tug and wiggle. Now get it on. Then a nice little feather type of tightening, not much. And then you turn the water on, and then you make your adjustment at that time. if you're gonna have to take it off and put Teflon tape. All right, the hole's stiffened. A lot of pressure sitting right there. I don't see a leak. All right, I'm gonna put my light on here eventually. But initially, everything's good. And see, these holes have a natural bend and a natural curve. And you want to follow it. Yeah. That way it'll be easier to work with it. Just wiggle and shake, wiggle and shake, wiggle and shake. There, until it tightens up. Then put a nice little feather tightening on it. Not much, just right there. And turn the water on. All right, everything looks good, nothing blew up. Everything is stiff, on tight. I don't see any issues with the seal. Get a light here and see what we got. I like this light, LED lights. If water is present and this LED light hits it, it'll make that water shine. Yeah, cause it to stand out. Okay, good to go. On the washer side, that's my responsibility side. Now on the house side, which is not my responsibility side, but associated because of the connectors, as far as the appliance industry goes, to the drain and to the, really the switch, on and off, that's really it. That looks good. Okay. I'll install the, push it back in position and reinstall the vent. Give some customer probabilities of what could occur and do some preventative maintenance. And there's nothing that could have been done. These are just wear and tear from what I can deduct here. And it's severed right there. I don't think that's pressure. I don't know. I don't know. It took a lot. I don't know. Yeah, it looks like it was blown out. Definitely. Compared to looking at the rear part of this here, it makes you wonder how much pressure was on there, huh? Gotta be diligent. This claim could be easily 30,000, 40, maybe 60. And then if you're upstairs, you got other units above you, then you're looking at that too. So residential mod units, multi-dwelling units with water systems, these are the liabilities. They're very sensitive. So that's how much damage water can cause. And so you want to be very diligent in checking these and replacing them when necessary. Outside of that, enjoy your wash.